welcome to episode 43 of Lost Signals. My name is Darrell.
I'm JD. Are you unsure?
You know what? Sometimes numbers are hard and I forget them, even though they're written down right in front of me. But, you know, they're kind of like right below my microphone, so it's kind of blocked. So
I know this thing gets in the way all the time.
But without the microphone, you can't do the show, right?
Exactly. Otherwise, it's just pantomime.
I guess.
How you been?
I'm good. I'm tired of dealing with this fucking winter that will never end. We've had snow on the ground for literally 6 months now.
Yeah, I mean, well,
6 months.
6 months. You are along the latitude. You are basically along the same line as me.
Yeah, we're pretty close.
Yeah.
But I don't know why you guys are like at plus 10, and I'm at like it was like -7 for a high today.
I don't know. One thing I do know is that according to the weather people and all the really smarter people, we have like over 100% the average snow pack.
Oh.
So that means that we're gonna have, you know, like with any luck, it won't be a fire season, or at least it'll be very minimal.
I mean, I think you're always gonna get fires, but yeah, hopefully they're not bad. I mean, because like the last couple of years, you guys have been hit pretty hard with that shit. I mean,
yeah, oh yeah,
and when you get hit with it, we get the smoke. So
yeah. Oh, we share.
Yeah,
We try to send it out. Like this is what we're all going through.
Yeah, we don't want your shit. So
no.
Yeah, and if you can hear kind of what's going on behind me, the dogs are restless because they're tired of the snow too. They're starting to like beat the shit out of each other and just, you know, doing more weird dog things because, well, they're tired of just being inside, and I don't blame them.
Yeah, Dad, we want to go out and play.
Yeah. Well, I mean, there's still like a 3-foot snowbank in my backyard. It's been dropping because, like, even though it hasn't been above zero, the sun has been warm enough to melt the snow. It's just not running yet. So it's going to take like a week, and then it'll just be like a week of warm weather and the snow will all be gone. But
yeah, and that's usually what it takes. I mean, we've got plenty of dry pavement now, and sidewalks are mostly clear. So I mean,
not here. Not here.
Spring's on the way. I'll try to send that a little east and see what happens.
Fuck, I would appreciate that actually. Yeah, I'm just tired of it, but brighter days are coming.
That they are.
Yes. And speaking of brighter days and warmer weather, I'm going to Portland, Oregon at the beginning of May. Yep.
Oh, what for?
So my niece is in post-secondary school there. Well, I guess it's more than post-secondary school. She's in med school there. So when she first got accepted, I said, originally my plan was to drive her out when she moved to Oregon. And that didn't work out. There's a long convoluted story that nobody needs to hear. Regardless, her parents took her out there and it was all good.
Right.
But then after they did, it's like, okay, well, in the spring when it's time for you to come home, I will fly out to Portland and I will drive you in your car home because she has a car out there and everything. So yeah, May 7th I leave. I think we're gonna hang out and go see the sights in Portland for till the 10th, and then I think it's about 2.5 days home from there. Well, it depends on how hard I feel like driving, right?
Is that a nice drive? Have you done it before?
No. No. Well, I guess it depends on which way you go. Like if I do decide to go up through British Columbia, come up through Vancouver and then hit Highway 1, I have gone that way. I've driven that way before, but I don't think I want to go that way. I think I want to go through the States and go see things.
Fair enough.
You know, I've never been through the northern states.
Yeah.
I've only been to a couple states. So it's like, yeah, why not?
Yeah.
We'll see what happens. I mean,
I've driven to Washington, like Seattle, Washington.
Yeah.
And it wasn't just a shit ton of highways. Like,
oh yeah,
that was it. Right?
It's busy. Like Tyler and I have been there a couple times now. over the years, and the getting into Seattle is like it's really easy to do, but it's a big city, like, and I think the traffic is crazier in Seattle than it is in Vancouver.
Oh, 100%. Yeah. No, I remember that vividly, and this was like decades ago.
Yeah. So like I don't think I want to go up through Seattle to get home, but I guess we'll see. It all depends on what my niece wants to do too. Like if like, yeah, I mean, I'd like to go across the states because I've never been that way. So I don't know, it's something to do, right? You know, like,
no, it sounds like fun. Absolutely. Road trip. Love it.
Yeah. And so the fun part about Portland is that it's like a mecca for craft beer. So, yeah. And hello dog. Yeah.
Hello, dog.
Hi. Ow. Can you not? Hi. Yeah. So, Chris, I was speaking to Chris Klein, a former guest on the Lost Signals podcast. Right. He's also a big craft beer guy. If you haven't watched that episode, he started a group called the Beer Lovers of Saskatchewan, and it's got like 3,500 people in it.
Holy crap!
Yeah. There's a big group of us, and I was asking him. It's like, so like where? Like I'm going to Portland. Where do I go? So he's like, go here, go here, go here, go here. And then I actually put it in that group, and then like 6 or 7 other people chimed in. It's like, okay, you gotta go here, you gotta go here, you gotta try the food here, you gotta go here. So like, I got a list. I don't know how happy my niece is gonna be about going to a bunch of breweries, but sorry, Marley, that's it's Uncle Darrell's prerogative, I guess. Hey, you know what? I'm flying, across the country to come drive you. Like, you can at least humor me for a day or two, right?
Yeah. All I want is a couple of beers. That's all.
Well, and I told her too. It's like I'm not bringing a suitcase with me. I'm just bringing a backpack because I mean it's only a couple days that I'm going to be at her place. So it'd be like, okay, well, we'll take as much stuff home as you need. I just want room for like 72 beer in the trunk. And I don't care about paying the duty. Room? Yeah, like I don't care about paying the duty when we cross the border because like that's just part of it. But yeah, that's what I want to do. So yeah. No. Okay, can you too?
Oh, they're just hanging out with
I
Dad.
know, they're just they were alone all day. I was at work today, so now they're just loud. I don't care if they're fighting and stuff. They're just it sounds like somebody's getting murdered behind me and they keep bumping into me. Yeah. So let's talk about the city of Regina.
Sure. I have my Deadpool mug anyway, so might as well.
Yeah. So they for the people that are unaware, that don't live in Canada, that Regina switched to Experience Regina for their slogan. It used to be I love Regina, and then there was something else that wasn't as funny.
Yeah.
And then they switched to Experience Regina because there was some joke video made, I want to say like 15 years ago.
Okay.
And they had this really shitty slogan and a really shitty YouTube video that just ended up getting popular. They actually had it on the Jay and Dan podcast.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And yeah, they talked about it and whatever. And it ended up like every time they did it, like a stand-up show or, like a show in Regina, that they referenced it all the time. So, and and that's good. Like kind of embrace like the weird side of what things should be, right?
Absolutely.
Then the tourism board they put out like a hashtag or something. It was like like show us your Regina.
Oh my God.
Okay. If you can't, if you can't fucking see the humor in that, I mean, like,
yeah,
like, come on, what kind of world do we live in where like even like harmless puns are like that aren't, or like are like ostracized, like or like
it's not even a pun. That's a innuendo.
Yeah.
And still like that, that's brilliant. Embrace that.
What if they really wanted you to show them your version of Regina and not the sexual connotations that go along with it?
Yeah.
right? Like, I don't get it. Like, they're trying to embrace this. I mean, like, first, like, a lot of this came from, well, like you said, like, from Deadpool, you know, like when,
Yeah.
like, it's a city that rhymes with fun,
Yeah.
you know, like, and that's it. That was in a fucking, like, a Marvel movie. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
It's a Marvel
one
movie
of the
now.
best Marvel movies.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then, you know, some people just decide that it's not PC. I'm like, who stole your sense of humor from you?
Yeah.
Like,
No. I remember reports, and I remember actually going to the movie theater when Deadpool was in the movie theater, and parents brought their kids in. Like,
yeah, like Rebellion Brewing, who
Yeah.
we talked about on this podcast a bunch of times. I mean, I have their logo tattooed on me. They wanted to get a Deadpool like statue built for the city, and like people were like mad about this.
why?
Like what? Like why would you be mad about? Like is like somebody like Ryan Reynolds bringing attention and money to your city. Like I don't get it. Like it's like people want things very certain ways, but you know, as soon as somebody tries to take it into a little bit of a different tangent and try to, you know, like be funny about it, it's like I don't know.
No, that's utterly ridiculous, quite
Yeah.
frankly. That is ridiculous because just like you said, like there is taking a name out of it, there is a blockbuster movie that makes reference to your town.
Yeah.
And people want to
didn't
ride that and embrace it.
and didn't have to.
Didn't have to. No.
Because I don't think Deadpool was actually from Regina in the comics.
No.
I don't
But he was
think so.
Canadian.
He was Canadian, but I don't think he was specifically from Regina. So adding more of a backstory to it, I mean, just like it brings something to Saskatchewan, considering we've had like our film tax credit like stolen from us from like the Saskatchewan party years ago. Like we don't have a film industry anymore. So like let fucking people have some fun, right? Like some people just need to like calm the fuck down, right? Like it's time. Like
No,
you
no,
just
absolutely.
you gotta let some of these jokes go.
No.
If that makes sense.
Or at least see the humor in the jokes, right? Like, okay, I live in Prince George. Oh, and how you doing, Trick? Nice to see you.
Hey, Trick.
I live in Prince George, and the initials are PG. And the amount of things here that are quote unquote rated PG for Prince George, like it is an unofficial trademark. There is a roller derby team that are the rated they're the RPG or rated PG roller derby team, right?
Nice.
The
Yeah.
morning show on the Top 40 station radio is rated quote unquote PG. Like embracing what we have and trying to make something of it, right?
You know, especially when it comes to like small towns. Like let's be honest, like Prince George is small, Regina and Saskatoon are small. You kind of got to take what you get. Like especially when it comes to this. Like but you know, they do say that, you know, like all publicity is good publicity. Publicity. Apparently I can't talk. Publicity. But I don't know, maybe they're just going to embrace it this way. It's like, you know, like but my problem with this is that they did just put it like they put out an apology for this.
Why?
I don't even Rebellion put something up. They put something on their Instagram. It's like we had no intentions of it being a sexual thing. It's like I don't know, man. Like you kind of knew what you were getting into.
Yeah. I just backing down is the worst part, right?
Yeah.
And quite frankly, it's harmless. Honestly, it is harmless. And like I don't know, maybe someone got picked on way too much for being from Regina, and now they're just taking it out on the world. Like,
yeah. So what Rebellion actually said in regards to our support of the Experience Regina movement, we don't support sexualizing it. I get a statement like that. I do. But I think if you can't see the humor behind it, then there's something wrong too.
no, absolutely.
Loki, I really like you, but you're being very, you're being very
Just gonna
moody.
knock that microphone right over.
Okay. Keep down. Anybody want a pit bull or two?
No, don't do that.
No, I could never give them up because
I know.
I'd get mad. But speaking of Regina, and speaking of a different brewery, I'm drinking a Pile of Bones Belgian triple right now, which is 9% alcohol.
It sounds very sophisticated as well.
Well, it is. They do the style very well. It's very boozy though. Like you can taste the booze underneath.
So, oh, really?
Oh, yeah.
It's a beer with a certain kick to it.
It's got a sweetness but it's got a definite booze taste to it.
Interesting.
It's actually not the strongest beer that I've had in the last week, though. A good friend of mine, Ken, the drummer from both of my bands, was in Edmonton a couple weeks ago and brought me back a triple IPA.
Wow.
It was 10%. I mean, at that point, it's kind of just like barley wine. And
yeah,
it snuck up on me and I drank it and I was asleep about, like an hour later. Yeah. That was, I think I drank that on St. Patrick's Day. No, I didn't drink it on I drank it the day after. St. Patrick's Day, I was asleep by like 9:30. But in my defense, I had just got off night shifts. I slept for about 2 hours. I went and had a couple beers with friends. And then I came home and it was enough. I just had a good nap.
Well, good.
Yeah. What did you do for St. Patrick's Day?
Nothing. I did sweet fuck all. St. Patrick's Day was last Friday. Yeah. I actually had the day off, surprisingly enough.
Oh.
And I didn't do much, honestly. I had a couple of local craft beers and just chilled out.
That's
it was
all right
a very
too,
sporadic. Yeah, it was a very sporadic week. In fact, I'm in the middle of three weeks that are very chaotic schedule-wise. Hockey season's coming to an end. Some of the on-air staff has started to take time off, so I'm covering for them.
Right.
At any given point in time, you can actually hear my voice on 3 different radio stations.
Oh, nice.
So yeah.
Were you calling the WHL games? Is that what it was?
BCHL.
The BCHL.
The one below it.
Right. Yeah, 'cause, I know you guys have a WHL team.
Mm-hmm.
I was okay. So, and this is, we didn't even talk about this, but so WHL, Connor Bedard,
yes,
he's the next thing, right?
Yes.
So he plays for the Regina Pats. They just played in Saskatoon and they sold out the SaskTel Center. 15,000 people because of one name. So I'm wondering, are you guys getting that sort of reaction to him there?
Oh yeah, no. When that team came here, it packed CN Center.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like how many people in CN Center there?
So at capacity, it's 5,600.
Yeah, that's a decent size for a center. Because how many people in Prince George? What, like you said, about
82,000.
82,000. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's about the right size for like a stadium for that size city.
Yeah.
But yeah, like the Saskatoon Blades. I mean, I don't follow hockey that close, and the only reason I brought this up because of the WHL thing. But the Saskatoon Blades have been playing in this arena for 30 some years. They have never, ever had the upper bowl open until this Connor Bedard started playing against them. And yeah, so they played, I think it was Sunday.
Right.
They played the Blades played the Pats and sold the place out. And I guess I want to say Friday again, the Blades are playing the Pats at home, and it's sold out already. It's not 15,000. It's 1475 or something. It's a ridiculous number to come see one really some 18-year-old kid play.
Well, the Conor McGregor thing was the same as well.
Connor McDavid, you mean?
Conor McDavid, Conor McGregor. Yeah, wait, Conor McGregor on ice would sell out.
I'd watch that actually.
Yeah, the Regina Pats. All right, so getting into the hockey stats and whatever. Regina Pats, funny enough, are 6th place. They are locked into the playoffs, and they just barely made. They clinched a playoff spot. Just barely.
I knew they were right on that cusp of making it or not. So
yeah,
I mean, but they're riding the coattails of. I don't know. That's not the right way to put it. But there's a wave of success behind having a player like him on your team.
Oh, absolutely. He's the center tent pole that lifts everyone up.
Well, he had 60 goals or something this season, which is ridiculous in a WHL season because they don't play like a full schedule like an NHL season. I don't think.
Connor. I'm looking up his stats now.
He's got to have close to 70 goals by now.
70 on the dot.
Yeah, that's what I figured. In how many games?
70 goals. Games played 55, 70 goals, 72 assists. Okay. A total of 142 points. In
that many games, it's ridiculous. That's better than Connor. No, I was going to say McGregor.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's better than McDavid.
McDavid. Yeah.
Hey,
he's Jesus Christ, he has grown. Looking at the stats,
oh yeah,
prior his 2021 season was nothing.
Yeah.
And then he
was 16 then, right?
Yeah.
You got to think of that too. So I don't know, man.
Crazy.
Good for him. I mean, but
no, absolutely.
But could you imagine the amount of pressure on somebody like him at that age? It's because they've been talking about him for years already. It's at 13 years old, it's he's the next Gretzky, or he's the next, he's the next, right? He's the next Lemieux. It's how at 13, 14, 15 years old, or how would you deal with that sort of complex? That's you're in the media at that age because you're good at hockey, right? I don't know, that's a tough. I think that'd be a tough life, really.
To have that at such a young age and to be exposed to that and consistently as well. I mean, there would have to be. I would hope that there is enough support that he keeps a level head on his shoulders, and he doesn't let it all go to his head. Who is that? Completely different sport, but completely related. Who is that one NFL quarterback who was supposed to be
Johnny Manziel?
That's the one.
Yeah.
That is a prime example of letting it all go to his head, and the
problem with Manziel though is he had daddy's money behind him, so he was born with the silver spoon.
Yeah.
He just and he was good. He lit it up in NCAA.
Yeah.
And then he played one season, I think, in the NFL, and was you're trash.
Yeah.
And then he came up. He came and played in the CFL, and then no, you're even bigger trash.
Yeah.
Because he couldn't do anything here.
Yeah.
But okay, you can't compare an NFL quarterback to a CFL quarterback.
I'm talking about mindset though.
Yeah.
I mean, not letting that hype get to you, and not relying on your skill, but keeping centered and keeping focused on what brought you there, and also working with the team, right? If Connor here for the Pats was a poor teammate, we would have heard about it by now.
Oh yeah.
Right?
Yeah, there wouldn't have been as much stock in his name because it just doesn't translate.
No, exactly. Yeah.
Comparing I get where you're making the reference, but like football to hockey, I mean that's two very different sports, right?
Oh, no, 100%, 100%. absolutely agree. But I was just talking about the mindset,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah. And Johnny Manziel, he can go fuck himself.
Sideways.
Yeah, you
He's got
like
the time
because
to do it
like
now.
he was. And I'll go on a little rant here, but this like there's
Sure.
always been this thing about like NFL quarterbacks that like they always say it's like, oh yeah, like I could go up to Canada and I could just rip shit up, I'd just be so good up there.
No.
Completely different game.
Yep.
Completely different game. Like another player in the field and like a backfield motion. Yeah, but like way bigger field, like the goalpost in different spots. It's just like you go on and on. It's like some of these guys, they can throw like a 50-yard bomb on an NFL field. I mean, that's an average throw for some guys in the CFL.
Yeah, because it has to be because we have one less down. Yeah,
Yeah,
no.
and it's a way bigger field, and you just that much more movement, right?
Yeah.
And look at us talking about sports for the last like 10 minutes. It's weird.
There's no problem with that
Yeah,
at
no,
all.
it's fine.
I don't know where I saw it, but it was like a social media video of an NFL player who went to the CFL thinking that exact thing, like, fuck, I'm gonna dominate. They're gonna name the entire league after me. He got up here, played a couple of games, went, fuck me, and they realized that, it's not a lesser league. It's just a league full of players that didn't have the opportunity to go down to the NFL.
They did it's not even that they didn't have the opportunity. They didn't have the proper skill set required for the NFL game.
Yeah.
Like if there was a way to market the CFL properly in the States, like and if they did market it properly, it would take off 100%. Because the game to me, watching 4-down football is boring as fuck. It is. Because they have like 5 timeouts in a half where you get 2 timeouts in a game in the CFL. The game moves faster. It is faster. I prefer 3-down football. And actually, I think I read something in the last couple months, like there's a World Football Championships now. And they're not playing with 4-down football rules. They're playing with Canadian rules. Because it makes for a better game. But I mean, you try and convince 350 million Americans to switch over to 3-down football, and it'll never happen.
You were the one who brought up that whole Dave Grohl, "Let's Thank Canada" thing.
Yeah.
And in that, he
that was
made
the Super
reference
Bowl.
to the fact that the NFL was invented by a Canadian.
Oh yeah, football was like yeah. Football,
No, so I looked into it,
Okay.
and what happened was that many years ago there was 2 different sports league type teams, and they were, why the hell did I get all blurry there? That's weird.
I don't know. That's just I'm
They were
just drunk maybe.
They were invited to come up to Canada. They actually played in Montreal, this other league and team in the United States, and they played both games. They played the American version first. And it was weird, it was convoluted, it was confusing. And then the next day they turned around and they played the Canadian version, which ended up being what we know as football today. Yep. And then that team went back to the United States with the help and the guidance of the Canadians from Quebec and created what is now known as American football.
Yeah. So back in the day too, like in like the 50s, like the early 50s and stuff, like the CFL and the call it the American Football League and the National Football League, because there was the 2, and that's what the 2 joined to create the NFL.
Yeah.
It was a lot closer back then, because like the CFL was seen as more of a legitimate competition league, and there actually was games between like the CFL teams and the AFL and the NFL teams, or NFC teams, whatever they were at the time, right? So I don't know. I still prefer watching Canadian football. I think it's more interesting. I think it's faster.
Have you had a chance to watch any of the XFL games?
I have not yet. I just haven't had time, and like they're not advertised here. Like I don't have TV, right? I haven't had TV in probably 8 or 9 years, right? So like
Mhm.
I do have access to like TSN and Sportsnet and stuff like that
Right.
for reasons. But I just, yeah, like I don't see any of this stuff advertised. So like I do know specifically that the CFL has an identity crisis right now. You know, like the majority of CFL fans are getting up in age. Say that they're like our generation.
Okay.
Like elder millennials or like goddamn dogs. Or like Gen Xers, right? Like that are
Right.
like they're their kids are moving out of the house, whatever. Like there's no younger generation or demographic that's promoted there, or they're not promoting the CFL in the right places. They're not on Instagram, they're not on TikTok, they're not or if they are, they're not doing it right. They don't have these 19, 20-year-old kids advertising their stuff on these platforms when they should be.
Right.
So I don't know, like I think the Randy Ambrosie is not doing his job right anymore, and I think it's time for a change, like as a commissioner, because like you need to be bringing new fans up. Like not every market is like Saskatchewan, where it's like you're born, you get a watermelon, and you get a jersey, right? That's kind of how it is here.
Yeah.
Where, like in BC, I mean, I know BC's got great ownership now. And like, I heard a rumor recently that whoever your owner is bringing in a massive opening act for like their home opener in June. Like, I don't know who.
Yeah.
They haven't, I don't think they've announced who it is yet.
Yeah. Okay.
But, yeah.
June, CFL, BC Place.
Yeah, it's not announced yet. But it's supposed to be somebody like, because last year was like Imagine Dragons. I mean, I don't like Imagine Dragons, but it's something that's going to appeal to a younger audience, right?
Yeah, true.
Where, if they could bring in whoever, and it's going to sell out, because last year they did open again, this goes back to like opening the upper level of stadiums. They did last year in BC, which was good. So, oh my God, dog.
Just, Dad, I want your attention. Those listening, one of Darrell's dogs just bumped the microphone square into his face. Are you okay?
Yeah. Oh yeah, I know. Just they piss me off sometimes.
Yeah, I know.
That's
no,
joy of dogs,
but you're
right?
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
But you're right though. Like the Rough Riders, they have a not a target demographic, captive audience, basically.
Yeah. But
Whereas,
I mean, it wasn't always like that.
No, God no.
Yeah.
No. Whereas British Columbia, or specifically Vancouver, you have the Vancouver Giants, Vancouver Canucks, you have the Vancouver 86ers, you have the BC Lions,
and you have the Seahawks.
Yeah, and the Seahawks, the Seattle NFL team is like right there.
Yeah, it's literally 2 hours away, like to go watch an NFL game. And I know lots of people in Vancouver do that.
Yep.
So, I don't know. Something's got to change.
Yeah. Who knows? I do know that there is like some sort of agreement between the CFL and the XFL. What will come of that, I don't know. Maybe the CFL and the XFL are going to have an easier time, trading, or
I don't know.
Players or something.
What I did read something recently that the Seahawks are doing some sort of promotion that if you show up to a Lions game or something with like a valid ticket, you get like cash off or something like that, just to try to cross promote the teams. Which makes
a smart
sense.
idea.
It is.
Yeah,
I think so.
That's really smart.
I mean, I don't know how big the stadium in Seattle is. I think it's massive. I think it's
Oh
bigger.
yeah, no,
It's bigger than
Stadium's-
BC Place.
Oh yeah, by
Well,
far.
I don't know. The BC
No,
Place
no,
is pretty big.
no. The Seattle, where the Seattle Seahawks play, it is ridiculously
It's
large
like
compared to the BC Place.
it's Safeco Field.
Yeah.
Yeah, doesn't matter. Anyway, speaking of like shows coming up, and this kind of came as a surprise to me. As you know, and everybody else knows here that I'm a wrestling fan, whatever. AEW is doing a live show in Saskatoon,
Which is fucking awesome.
like a televised live fucking show in Saskatoon.
Yeah.
Like, what? Like,
AEW is like two of their upper echelon, which are wrestlers as well as like, their staff is Kenny Omega and Chris Jericho. They're from Winnipeg.
yeah, and they just did a live show from Winnipeg the other night.
Yeah.
So, I mean, Saskatoon isn't, like we've had wrestling here before, like I've been to a bunch of wrestling shows and stuff like WWE, like house shows, but that's exactly what they were. They were house shows.
Yeah.
But we're getting a live event here. It's like, that's unheard of. Like, we've never had a WWE live event here. The closest thing we've ever had is when Bret Hart won his first world championship in 1992. They released it on YouTube now. They released the whole match on YouTube. Because they did...
That is the closest thing.
Yeah, so like they videotaped it and then they did commentary after.
Oh,
Yeah. But now, like, we're getting an AEW show here. So me and some friends we're trying to get floor tickets.
Cool.
Like, I don't want to spend more than like $300, but I'd spend $300 on that.
You're going to go camera side, right?
Well, yeah, you got to go hard camera side. You have to.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You got to get assigned Lost Signals.
Ooh, good call. Yeah. Yeah. info@lostsignals.ca if you want to, send an email.
Exactly.
Never get a reply. I do reply to all the emails that I get that are, real emails, except for the spam ones. I got lots of spam emails lately.
Oh, go figure. Yeah. When is this show?
June or July. Can't remember the exact date. But yeah, tickets go on sale on Friday. So July 12th. But yeah, AEW Dynamite. I don't like, is Dynamite like the head like the lead show, or is Rampage the lead show? I think
Dynamite is the head show. It's Dynamite's the first one. Rampage is the second one. So Dynamite is to Raw what Ram. Well then.
So welcome back to episode 42 of Lost Signals. 43, right? Okay,
43.
So I am bad at numbers. so well, like with the shit that happened in the last 24 hours with my internet has put a damper on my on my podcast, and it makes me mad.
As they say, fix it in post. It's fine.
I guess. So yeah, with this will definitely be edited, and we'll there'll be an explanation in the description of this. So fun story. So last night, JD and I were filming the proper parts of the episode, and my internet went out.
Yeah.
So like it died. Everything in my house went dead for internet, and I immediately called my internet provider. Immediately did, and then waited on the phone for an hour. So if you can imagine, I was not a very happy camper.
No, clearly not. No. And understandably so.
Yeah.
Because it was like they were off schedule.
Yeah. So like I knew that there was going to be planned maintenance on my internet
Yeah.
starting from midnight till 6 a.m. Fine. Like I knew that we had a like at least a 3-hour gap that we could have recorded this and put it live on Twitch and
Right.
whatever.
Right.
Yeah. They shut my internet off at like 10:20 p.m.
Yeah.
So the explanation I actually I've spoke to people from my internet provider 3 times over the last day.
Yeah.
They said that there was no reason that they started it early. They just did. So yeah. So
Stu
now
and Michael were right here, and we're sitting by the truck, and we're like, fuck it.
yeah, pretty much. So I'm getting a credit on my account because
good.
like I did say like I complained that I was doing like critical work, and you know what, and this can be considered that, like I'm doing something that's very important to me, like I'm doing work that I need to do.
Time invested.
Yeah. So yeah, I guess I'm getting a week credit on my internet account.
First time you're getting paid to do this show, so
I guess. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I mean, whatever. It is what it is. Like it's better than nothing.
Yeah.
The guy I talked to last night was not helpful at all. Like he's like, "Oh, I can give you a $10 credit on your account." I'm like, "You know what? No, that's not good enough." So
no, God,
yeah,
no.
the guy I ended up talking to this afternoon was a little more helpful. And like I said, I got a week credit of internet access. But you know what? Okay, so I live in Saskatchewan. We've talked at this at length before. My former internet provider was SaskTel. SaskTel is a crown corporation, and I still use them as a service. My cell phone has been the same number under SaskTel for like 20 years now. Like literally 20 years.
Right.
I had SaskTel internet in my house for I moved into this house in 2009. I switched over to Access Communications in last year, 22.
Okay.
So I had SaskTel in my house for like 13 years.
Right.
You know how many outages I've ever experienced with SaskTel?
I'm gonna guess it's a rather low number.
0.
Yeah.
Unless the power was out.
Yeah.
And even if the power was out, if I would have put like a power supply onto my modem, I still would have had internet access.
Yeah. Gotcha.
So I've had issues with Access Communications since I signed up with them like 6 or 8 months ago. And I'm not happy. I'm not I'm not happy. It just it pisses me off. I mean, I spend a lot of money on my internet connection.
Right.
Like a lot more than a lot of other people do. Like I spend like close to $200 a month on my internet connection. Because like I want the fastest connection I can get. But yeah. So not happy.
No, and understandably so. Like, quite frankly, like you were right to call them up and go like, the hell, like I'm in the middle of something here. I thought I had this window. You sent me an email saying this time to this time there will be an outage, and then you jumped.
Yep. And you know what? Maybe what we do right now isn't critical. Like it is just filming a podcast. But no, it is.
Yes.
Like this is what I do. This is what I spend my money on.
Yeah.
Like for this
time.
And yeah. and for them to just up and just decide that, you know, like, yeah, like you said, like the text is like, oh, we're here right now, let's just do it right now. It's like, no, that's not right.
No,
Do it in your fucking specified time that you're supposed to be doing. Anyways, it's all fixed now.
Good.
Well, for now. But
to continue, funny enough, like, you know, we were talking about AEW Rampage or Dynamite coming to Saskatoon.
Yes.
And I was actually making the comparison before everything went to hell, that AEW's Dynamite is equivalent to WWE's Raw, whereas Rampage is the same as SmackDown.
Yes.
And
while Dynamite is coming to Saskatoon,
which is freaking awesome. While you were on the phone absolutely fuming, my internet still worked. Yeah. And
thank fuck.
I made an executive decision, and through my name, your name, and our good friend Lee's name into the hat for media credentials for AEW when they visit Saskatoon.
Yes, and that's amazing. I know, like I got the email today on the Lost Signals email, which is info@lostsignals.ca if anybody else is interested in contacting us.
Yeah.
To even get a response like we even got today was amazing, really. Yeah. You know, like so we're definitely in the running for media credentials.
Yeah. Which is like, it's awesome. It's just like the way I see it is like I'm in a position, like I'm used to this sort of thing. So I'm in a position to be like, hey, there's a door, let's knock on it and see what happens. Yeah. And the response that we did get, although brief, did give us like an opening in that door. And it gives us some, at least a connection, or at least some positivity moving forward, that, you know what, if it, at the very least, Darrell and Lee could be somewhere in the crowd wearing media credentials, having already spoken to some AEW stars.
Well, and it's funny enough because, you know, like Kenny Omega and Chris Jericho are from Winnipeg. So like, like it would just be like talking to some, you know, like other small town boys, right? You know, like, and like I have stories about like Chris Jericho where he's been in my friend's house, you know, like for weddings and stuff, you know, like it just
that's cool.
I'm really pumped to see where this goes, you know, like, and we will definitely have to, like, so the email response that we got from AEW is that, like, let's revisit closer to the date, and we definitely will.
Yes.
You know, of course we will.
We will.
I mean, if there's any way that I could get a media pass for this AEW show, it would be amazing. Mm-hmm. Even considering, you know, like what we are right now.
Yeah.
So,
well, saying that, and quite frankly, like, it is very positive, the response that we already got, and big thank you to anyone, you know, if you're watching or when you're watching, like, we really appreciate the response that we got. Saying that, once that door swings open and media credentials are available, if it's possible, I will fucking fly out there.
Oh yeah,
and I will join you guys.
100%. You would have to. I mean, like, like I already talked to other buddies. Like, I might need somebody to hold a camera for me, or, you know, somebody to hold a microphone or a boom mic or something. You know, like, so, like, just be prepared. Just like, if this shit happens, like, we're treading on like real shit here.
New ground. Yeah.
So,
with that though, I mean, like, if it came down to it, it was the three of us. I mean, the three of us could manage it.
Oh, for sure.
All three of us don't need to be in front of the camera.
No, absolutely not. But let's get as many people in there as we can, right?
Yeah, no, absolutely, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
No, so like
That'll be.
yeah.
Go
So
ahead.
hopefully we will have interviews with like AEW wrestlers. I'm just like I was thinking about that today. I was as my internet was out, and I was trying to think. It's well, like what kind of questions could we actually ask these people? Like can we break kayfabe and actually like talk about like the wrestling business proper, not just storylines and stuff. I guess that would be something that would have to be laid out by AEW corporate or
Yeah.
or media, right?
That is generally what happens. When I get an opportunity to, again, speaking from experience, not just throwing around my clout,
Yeah.
but I generally get a breakdown of like, you're free to talk about this, you're free to ask about this, please ask about this, refrain from referring about this, and blah 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 blah.
Yeah.
Like you get an agreement and a disclosure agreement as to what you can and cannot do, and I'm willing to bet that AEW will provide something like that.
Oh, you would have to think that they would 100%, right? Like it's just like we're talking about like an international company.
Yeah, exactly. So that's I'm looking forward to seeing that. And like it's only a few short months away. So
yeah, it's July. So like that's 4 months, right? Like that's I mean like there's a lot of interesting people in AEW. And especially, and if we're getting like the flagship show as a live event in Saskatoon, I mean that's let's be honest here, like that's a big deal.
Yeah,
like I think we spoke about this a little bit last night on the previous episode.
Right.
But I mean, like there's been no major WWE event in Saskatoon ever. Like there's been lots of house shows and stuff, but I mean, like, let's be honest, like this is a big deal.
Absolutely, 100%. So
yeah,
we're gonna try to milk it for all it's worth.
Oh, fucking rights, we will. Yeah.
So, if you had an opportunity, like off the top of your head, like who would you want to talk to?
Well, besides the obvious, like Chris Jericho, Kenny Omega, mainly because I mean those two would be great to talk to because they're prairie boys, right?
Yeah.
Like they grew up in the same shit that I did.
Yeah.
John Moxley, Darby Allin, I think would be an interesting. Danhausen, I think would be.
Oh, Dan, poor guy too. He's like he had to go back in for surgery for fuck's sake.
But but like there's so many people on that AEW roster that like Dr. Britt Baker too. I mean like like to talk to people like somebody that's an actual doctor that's a professional wrestler. I mean like that's pretty fucking cool. Like to speak to people like that. I think there's a lot of good conversations a person could have, right?
Yeah. Ruby Soho, Christian Cage. Oh fuck.
Ruby Soho, I mean, mainly for like I saw the live stream of her getting her name when Lars Fredrickson from Branson is like, well, you want to use our name? It's like, yeah, I can just clear it real quick with a text message, and that was just her name. And I mean, Christian Cage, I mean, like with like the Edge and Christian, like that whole thing, like. I mean, I don't know how much he could talk about like the whole Edge thing, but but Christian Cage, I mean, like, yeah, like good dude, like I think that'd be a really good person to talk to.
They've like both companies, WWE and AEW, have broken that door. Like,
yes,
they make reference to each other, right?
So 100%, yeah,
yeah, and you can't like Christian Cage, an amazing performer, an amazing professional wrestler, and so charismatic. Like he's got stories to tell, and saying that, like he's able to stand on his own 2 feet. But like the history between Edge and Christian is phenomenal.
Well, and let's be honest, like it's probably not his first time in Saskatoon. Guaranteed, it's not. Like I think they did stuff with Stampede Wrestling back in the day. Like it's just maybe it's some sort of weird homecoming for for him. Maybe not a homecoming is not the right term to put, you know, but like a revisiting of a place that was good. I mean, let's be honest too. Saskatoon is like a really, like, it was a hotbed for wrestling back in the day. I mean, like Rowdy Piper was born here.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't know this too, but like Stu Hart was actually born in Saskatoon.
Yeah.
And then moved to Calgary and then started Stampede Wrestling there.
Yeah.
So, I mean, like there's
Brock Lesnar lives in Saskatchewan. He has a bull farm in Saskatchewan.
No,
right?
not a bull farm.
He's
a cereal farmer, like like canola and that sort of stuff. Way farther south compared to where I live. But apparently, like, you can walk into like one of the local stores in the town that he lives in. He just might be there, like buying stuff, whatever, like, and apparently he's not a dick. I mean, like, if you're gonna be a dick, he's gonna be a dick.
Yeah.
Like if you're like camped outside of his house or something, but like if you're just, you run into him in like at like the coffee shop or whatever, it'd be like, it's like, hey Brock, it's like, hey, how's it going? Like, and he's a very personable person.
Yeah, I would hope so. I would hope he would be too.
Well,
like, yeah, and he's expressed the fact too, like in interviews, that he's an introvert at heart. Like, he just gets exhausted dealing with large crowds, and since he has the freedom to step away from time to time, it gives him an opportunity to just be more relaxed.
Do you blame him though?
No, God,
like do you want to deal with fucking asshole people like 24/7?
No,
like
God, no.
I don't. So, but no, it's weird,
Anyway,
Saskatchewan is like the hotbed for wrestling, apparently.
Yeah. Again, it leads into the whole, like, what else is there to do? Might as well become really good at this.
Well, it's either you drink or you fuck or you or you
or you're a Rough Riders fan.
Well, see, I was having that conversation with somebody today. It's like, you when you're born in Saskatchewan, it's like you're given your birth certificate and a watermelon to put on your head.
Yeah. You brought that up before.
Yeah. Well, that's Saskatchewan for you. It's funny. It's like, everybody always says like we don't have lots to offer. But when you look at like some of like the world leaders, like lots of them are from Saskatchewan, like just because we're angry and we just want to like make things our way or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. There's lots of good people from Saskatchewan. I mean, even, Wade Wilson. So yeah. So I'm looking at my notes from what we were going to talk about last night. It's like, and the 9% beer. Did we talk about that? We did talk about that.
Yes, we did.
Yep. Yeah. So again, just it's like a continuation. See, and this is like a problem from like doing a show over 2 nights. I don't like it.
I don't like it.
I like doing a show and then like having it done, right?
Yes. Oh yeah, absolutely. Having to make a 2-parter is frustrating.
It's garbage. I mean, we've done a different 2-parter, but I mean, but we had 2 different topics for each part, right?
Absolutely.
I guess the only other thing that I had on my list from the notes from last night is that the Olive Garden sucks.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Saskatoon got an Olive Garden like over the pandemic. They actually they tore down a restaurant. They tore down a Chili's.
Okay.
And built an Olive Garden. So me and the girlfriend went to the Olive Garden because I hadn't been there. It's like, let's see what it's like. I texted a buddy of mine before. It's like, yeah, what's the Olive Garden like? He's like, meh. And I'm like, yeah, like we're gonna try it anyways. So we get there. They bring wine glasses to the table, and they bring like this shitty wine. It's like, oh, you want a glass of this? I'm like, no, get the fuck out of here. It's like, I don't want this shit. So what bugged me the most about that is that like we were like pretty close to the waitress station. Like they set these wine glasses down on the table.
Right.
We had touched them, like, like to move them out of the way. They just immediately put them back in the tray, like for other people to like to put on a different table. Like, is that not disgusting to you? Like
yeah, a bit.
Like I don't get it. Yeah, the food was shit. Like I did not enjoy anything about that. Like even the breadsticks, everybody raves about how good the breadsticks are. I'm like, no, these are garbage. Like, I don't know. How about that?
Just wasn't worth it. Wasn't worth the hype.
It's gonna end it there. It's like I fucking hate the Olive Garden. I'll never go back. So,
fair enough.
Yeah.
I can't think of a. Well, see, I have a very storied history with Boston pizza, and that's over like an extended period of time and different restaurants in different towns. And so anytime anyone says, let's go to Boston Pizza, I'm instantly like,
no.
My sister
gave me a good analogy about Boston Pizza because she's eaten at Boston Pizza like all over the place. Her husband, like worked on the road and she would go out and visit, like, and that was always where they went.
Right.
And she's like, you know what? Boston pizza, they pour a good beer. And even then, it's not that good. But, that's about the best part about a Boston pizza is that, like, yeah, they have beer.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So.
Sure. The service, the consistent poor service that I have experienced at Boston Pizza at, again, different restaurants in different towns. It's just like, it turns me off immediately. Chapped Head and Trick Turbo are in the chat, and Chapped Head says JD's coming to Sask, and I've actually been there twice, and I would return absolutely.
Yeah, so. If we can get these media credentials for AEW, fucking rights. Yeah,
and Trick Turbo, Brock Lesnar. Sorry, I know nothing. Boston Pizza used to be good like a long time ago.
And he's right, because like Boston Pizza used to have a pizza that was like the ultimate pepperoni, where they just put like a shit ton of pepperoni on this pizza.
Right.
And it was amazing. But you can't get that anymore because it's all, less is more, right?
Right.
Well, less is more money for them, if that makes sense. Yeah. Yeah. Anyways.
Into Found Signals?
Yeah, I think so.
All right.
We covered a lot of shit. What are you listening to first?
Well, I'm hesitant to pick my two because I have a feeling maybe we might have a crossover or two.
I highly, highly doubt it, because the shit that I got going on this week is obscure. Well, not obscure, but it's different.
All right. Well, first one I will go with is an AEW reference, and I'll go with Baltimore's Tarzan.
Oh yeah, okay. What is the name of that song?
Jungle Boy.
Jungle Boy. Yeah. Okay, I definitely did not have that on my list.
Okay, fair enough.
Okay, so my first one this week, and yesterday I was having issues with with lots of things, apparently, including my internet connection. So I messaged our friend Tyler about, it's like, I need a song for I need one song for the Found Signals podcast. And he's like, okay, how about Silhouette by Thrice? I'm like, okay, well, I know that song. He's like, but no, you don't know that song. The Thrice, which is a great band, by the way, just released they re-recorded all of like one of their first albums,
Okay.
and it like with like not new vocal, like same vocalist, but like all older and stuff. It's like, and fuck, is it good? Like, holy
Really?
fuck, it's so good. Like,
Okay.
it's the album is called The Artist in the Ambulance. But yeah, Silhouette is what Tyler suggested I put in there, and
Good
fuck,
pick.
it's so good. Like, if you get a chance to listen to that album, like The Artist in the Ambulance by Thrice, so good, so good. Anyway,
Forgive me, it's Tarzan Boy by Baltimore, not Jungle Boy. Anyway, the second one, I'll go back again to AEW, and I will pick Fozzie's Painless.
oh, good call.
Yeah.
Good.
I could go flat out, and you could throw this in as well if you want with Judas, but
no, we'll go with
Fozzie's
Painless.
Painless, yeah.
Yeah, Judas is a little too on the nose, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. My second one is gonna be I'm pretty sure this isn't on the list already, but so one of my favorite bands growing up was Live. Like the band Live. Like, it's so hard to like describe them because like it's live, it's whatever.
Yeah.
The song is Hold Me Up.
You added that yesterday. So yeah.
I did add that on the list yesterday, but I didn't mention it in here.
No, you didn't. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm just clarifying.
Yeah, no, like I did add the two songs I was talking about, I did add already onto the list. But Hold Me Up by Live was actually in the movie Zack and Miri Make a Porno. And it's they played in the scene where Zack and Miri actually like rail each other.
Isn't that more of a romantic thing?
It is
between those two?
But the song itself, like, it's really fucking good. So, anyways, yeah. So
I'm listening to Silhouette Thrice right now, and
it's a banger, isn't it?
oh yeah, I like it absolutely.
Yeah. Actually, and then after you're done listening to that, listen to The Artist in the Ambulance.
Okay.
Yeah, on that album, so good, so good. Anyway.
So yeah, those are my two: Baltimore Tarzan Boy and Fozzie's Painless.
Yeah, no, that's those are both good picks.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this has been part 2, kind of. I mean, JD's gonna do some creative editing, and well, I mean, it'll definitely not seem like one episode, but like you guys will get it. But
yeah, exactly.
Anyway, so it's been Lost Signals. I'm Darrell.
I'm JD.
We will see you guys out there, and have a good one.
Take care.